Perfect. Okay, so hello everybody. I am Ottilia, and together with Sagnik, I'm leading this project, which we are calling the Campus Garden. We are developing a community garden at Uppsala University, where we want to engage students, faculty, and the larger society in the project to build a diverse community around it. Especially in these uncertain times where social distancing has become the new norm. Gardening might be one of the few activities, social activities at least, that can be done pretty much the same as before the pandemic. So with this project, we want to provide a safe space to gather and de-stress, not only during the pandemic, but also for years to come. The project has been granted funding from the Uppsala University Climate Pot and will be housed at the Climate Change Leadership Node, CCL. We want to develop the garden using permaculture principles, focusing on circular systems, reusing materials both in the establishment and the maintenance of the garden, making sure that the carbon footprint is minimal and aiming to reduce the university's carbon footprint in the process. It's still in the early stages, as you said, Daniel, which means that joining now will give you an opportunity to be part of shaping it. We envision the garden as a place for meetings across disciplines, hierarchies, and interests, where knowledge is shared and co-produced. And the development process will be a big part of that, because this is going to be a project for a community by a community. We plan to have workshops and different events in the garden, both while developing it and once it's more established. We are currently in the process of setting up an agreement with Akademiska Hus, who are the owners of the land on Villavägen 14, which is located right next to Geocentrum and just minutes from Blåsenhus and Engelska Parken. This is the space that you can see in the pictures. So with this project, we want to transform this lawn into a high-yield, low-maintenance community garden where people can get hands-on experience of growing their own food and practicing sustainability together. We are having the first meeting in 1 week from today at 7 p.m. on the 4th of February. It will be on Zoom, and you are all very much invited to that. If you're interested, there is more information on our Instagram and Facebook, where we are called UU Campus Garden, and the links should be in the Zoom chat now or soon. You can get in touch with us there or email us at uucampusgarden@gmail.com. And there's also a Facebook event for the first meeting that you can find through our Facebook page. And we're creating a chat group on Facebook Messenger. And if you contact us, we can add you there too. And that was it for me. Thank you for listening.
Great, thank you. And great if you put all your next meeting and those details, you already put them in, I guess, social media links and also webpage link. And also if you have an email address, so I can do that or put that up on the webpage as well when I do the summary of this with the videos and everything. Okay, thank you so much. Let's see now if we have any questions from anybody else that wants to ask a question. Yeah, Andrea, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you, Ottilia, I think I've seen, like last time I passed by Geocentrum, I think I've seen some of the boxes. Are those yours or are they part of the project, or is that totally unrelated?
Well, it's unrelated. It's Akademiska Hus. They've had beehives there. So, but they will probably still be there, maybe moved a little bit, but we would love to have the bees there. So we've been talking about that.
Okay.
Yeah, those are beehives.
Nice.
I have a question. How many people are involved in this project right now? Just curious.
Yeah, right now we have the Facebook page and the Instagram.
No. I meant how many people with the campus garden, how many people are like involved in working?
Yeah, exactly. In working, it's me and Sagnik, and they're cooperating with CCL and Akademiska Hus, and beyond that, it's our social media pages.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual hands-on work, it's CCL, Akademiska Hus, and us.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
I'm kind of curious because CEMUS used to have a permaculture urban agriculture course way back. I can't remember, maybe 10 years back, but then there's been a ton of other things happening in Uppsala. Have you managed to you might not be interested in this because you might know enough already, but have you had any contact with other organizations working on similar projects in Uppsala?
Yeah, we've been talking to the projects we know of, a few permaculture projects and community garden projects. There is the Ultuna permaculture, there is the Flugsta Food community garden, which has that's also a permaculture garden. And we've been talking to them, but since it's early, we've just been reaching out and trying to catch people and let them know and so on. Sagnik, do you want to add something?
No, it's also, yeah, it's the same. No, nothing more to add. It's just that we are now reaching out to people, and also we have we reached out to that garden in Solna. I don't remember its name.
Who was that?
Yeah, and they're also a permaculture garden with a circular economy principle. Like they use seeds which are just thrown away, and we are like getting inspired by them to follow those kind of principles in our own garden too.
Can I address the question in the chat?
Yeah, sure.
If we're planning to grow the food for a particular purpose. We've been talking about that. At first, we had the idea of selling the food back to the canteens and trying to reduce the carbon footprint that way. We have yet to talk to them, but it's also been like we have a bunch of different ideas about this. This is also why we're going to get more people involved to brainstorm together. But there's also the idea of selling the food to make the garden pay for itself in the long run, and maybe to be eaten by the people growing it. But that depends on a lot of things and what people want. Like,
yeah, I have two more short, brief questions. I'm also thinking maybe I didn't listen too intensely, but the time plan is to get going and have starting something in the spring once the ground is like workable. Yeah, that's the idea, because it connects also to this idea, a very vague idea, nothing decided, but having like an outside office and an outside meeting place for CEMUS as well, which might be close around somewhere where you can actually get Wi-Fi streaming out of the buildings around this area and the botanical garden as well. So that might be also nice to connect with. My last question is also, are you then looking for volunteers? Because you're project leading this project and you have work hours for this, but are you looking for concretely volunteers in the spring for this as well? And is it Facebook, or where do you sign up if you want to get outside and help out with the garden?
yeah, it's both volunteers for working in the garden, but also to develop it and help plan it and design it. And we want input from people. What do people want? How can we make it interesting for as many people as possible? But so the first meeting is one place to get involved. What else? We will have the events through our Facebook page when something is happening, like an event for doing the different things, like laying out cardboard, because we will not be digging is one thing. So the events will be announced through our Facebook page. So following our social media is one way to keep track, but also contacting us if you're interested in doing anything.
Yeah. Perfect, and you can just add all your links in the chat as well, and that's saved to my computer then later. Sagnik, did you want to add something?
I just wanted to say, like, as you said, like CEMUS had been having this kind of courses on permaculture, and can be also a place to hang out for the CEMUS people. And we would be also glad that if CEMUS already organizes workshops at that place, like the more people we get over there, the more interested we are. So yeah, we are very much welcoming everyone to join in.
Yeah, and I mean the timeline for actually meeting people, we will probably meet people outside before we were allowed to meet people indoors. So that's also good, and we can hope for a early and warm spring, then it will even better. I'll see if I can, maybe there's nothing really useful, but it might be something on the old course page. If I can find that while I listen and multitask, I'll try to put that in the chat if I can find it, and if it seems to contain any useful information. Okay. Were there any other questions? No? Great. And just put the links in the chat while we listen to the next presentation. So then I have them as well. I'll keep nagging all of you about that as well.